What's up, guys? It's Connor, aka Conoger, and I'm just coming at you again with another little painted video. Surprise, surprise! Look what's getting done right now. Stonehorn is in the works. Pretty exciting stuff. Basically doing all of his fur in a scrag brown, and all of his basically anything that's skin or bone, teeth, anything is in a whichever one's darker out of these two. Yeah, everything that's skin is in Skaven Blight Dinge, which is just like a kind of a light grayish, because I know that there'll be I think I'm going to do like a blue wash on the gray and highlight up with some really light grays. I may even highlight up with a mix of light gray and like a shadow gray, because there is a bluish tinge coming from this. I plan on doing all the crystals in like a very shiny blue on the tusks. So, you know, it's going to be a fun model. It's actually not really that hard as I thought. It's more or less just a ton of bullshit base coating. What I'm doing right now is just kind of a pain in the ass, considering the Skaven Blight, because it's gray, goes on really well with a very high pixel count, but this orange, not so much on the Scrag Brown. It is a brown, but it has a very, very orange ring to it. Or you know what this color is? I know exactly. It's called burnt orange. That's exactly what that is. So if you look up burnt orange, that's what you're looking at. So what that is, that's a layer paint. It's not a base coat. So there's a lot of layers involved. I'm not even watering down from the pot, since it's a layer paint and it's from the new line. It's quite, it goes on quite well, quite smooth. And watering it down is just going to take a lot of time. Considering there's going to be washes going on this cat. There's going to be 2-3 highlights depending on the areas. I plan on making the top of the model quite dark and the underside of the model quite light. Like, I'm just going to be dry brushing the bottoms with like maybe even a bleached bone to get them very bright. Because as you know, with all my models, I like to do the tops dark for any predators, really. In fact, any animal in general. As you may notice, if you think about pretty much anything, most predators especially, but with prey as well, they have dark tops and very light bottoms, and that's basically a form of cryptic coloration, also known as bicoloration, which is essentially trying to trick the eye of an animal, any hunter, or perhaps to conceal itself if it happens to be a hunter, to trick the eye into thinking that it's not there. Because when someone is looking at something, per se, under this light, the top is very light and the bottom is dark. But by making this top part dark on an animal, it camouflages in with his environment, because it's tricking the eye, whereas the bottom is very dark and the top is light. Or sorry, the top is dark where you'd think it would normally be light, because that's where the light's coming from. So I hope you're catching where I'm coming from. And, you know, other animals do it for different purposes. I mean, if you look at a great white shark, got a gray top and a white bottom. Well, if you guys didn't know why that is, it's because any animal looking upwards is very hard to see against the silhouette of the sky in the water. But anyone looking down into the water has a lot of trouble seeing them because they're dark top. They're looking at the darkness of the water. That's exactly why that is. Deer, same thing. Dark tops, white bottoms. You know, wolves usually have a much lighter undercoat, but there are some variations, like there's pure black wolves and stuff. But that's enough of my bio lesson for you guys. That's just something interesting. I think my next video, I think I'm going to do a little rundown on some technical stuff. Like, I'm going to do a whole rundown on the color wheel. I'm going to do a series on just how to match colors to optimal efficiency using triads of paint and complementary colors, using the color wheel with secondary and tertiary colors. For instance, like with an orange, you know, what color is going to be complementing, what color is going to be very complementary to orange, and all that sort of stuff, which is I think very nice to know. Also knowing like how much color you can fit into a model before it is regarded as crowded, hues, saturation. Stuff like that. Stuff that you learn very early, but a lot of people forget, and it's little techniques that can make all the difference in a model if you're using complementary colors. it can truly make a big difference. For instance, like two very complementary colors would be green and red. They're complementary colors. I don't know too many off the top of my head, to be perfectly honest. I just, when I need something, like right now I'm using like an orange color, I'm immediately going to go on, I'm going to find out exactly what color I need to complement that. And with that complementary color, I'm going to make sure that his two big shields are going to have some of those complementary colors. Just from looking at it, I'm thinking blue is going to ring off really well with the orange. In fact, that might even be one of its complementary colors. Or a blue of some shade. Probably a secondary color, since orange is not a primary. So, it should be nice. Like I said, I'm painting with primarily layer colors right now. So, it's just a pain because it takes so many coats. As you guys know, I do not dry brush. Mostly because I don't have one, but you know, it's a time-consuming process to be painting these very large models with a brush. So a little rundown. This Stonehorn. Essentially, these bad boys live high up in the mountains of Mourne, and they are these very huge predatory beasts. And the only way to apparently fell them is for hunters to throw a spear while they're charging, because their eyes remain open or something like that, and catch them in the eye. And if they bust their eye open, the hunter can tame them, and then they follow amongst the herd. I think I remember something about they can never be truly tamed, but they have a bond with their master or something like that. The lore is a little bit wishy-washy to me. I should have the book beside me. Sorry guys, I'd read it to you, but this is spur of the moment video. But you know, interesting. I'm doing this up because I read somewhere that these can be fun to use against VC, and VC is one of the players that gave me trouble the other day. I think it's mostly because he made it sound like he literally tailored the list to beat ogres. Which I don't think really worked that well out for him. He took a ton of ethereal stuff at a 1500 point game, which I think is a little bit cheesy. You guys can tell me if you think so or not, but he had like 2 whole units of ethereal hex wraiths. I think 6 guys in each unit, so I didn't have too much to deal with that. Other guy bought 2 cannons. It's all well and fine. I don't mind that. Guys, I'm getting all my games I've been facing cannons. I really want to face an army with no cannons, and that was all coming from the Empire side of the board shooting at me. And of course, you know, my Iron Blaster really never gets to do much in the games because they get knocked out so early by bloody cannons. But that's where I think this Stonehorn could be fun, because I think it scares the shit out of people. I commented on a fellow's blog the other day saying, I think that's one thing ogres have going for them, is for players that don't know much about the other race. And let's be honest, a lot of players don't. Like when a guy's playing VC, he could tell me anything and I'd probably believe him, because I don't know what's true and what's not. Now, of course, he's not going to be lying about anything. I certainly hope not. But you know, I don't know much about the lore and stuff of other chapters, not chapters, sorry, of other races. So it's threatening when you look at something and go, wow, that looks scary. You know, scary. Even though us ogre players know that perhaps a Stonehorn is probably not the scariest thing in our list. I mean, it is an avalanche on hooves, I've heard, which is why they say it's really fun to charge into skeletons, because you'll have a field day. But you know, I think most of us know that I would be more worried about a unit of 8 man-eaters charging at you with poison sniper or something, or like a scout vanguard, or you know, something crazy like that, or a vanguard sniper with all brace pistols. I don't know, any of those combinations. That's scary. And so is like 4 Mournfang or 2 units of 3 Mournfang charging down the table at you. That's a lot of attacks. Mind you, this guy gets 9 attacks, probably 10 with a charge, and then he gets that crazy charge thing going for him with the D3 impact hits, or D3 times 2. I don't really know how it works. I'll have to read up on it. But that's why I'm bringing it, because I don't see them bringing much in way of monsters. He has a Terrorgeist, but he never brings it, it seems. And he didn't bring it to the Ogre game because he knew I was going to field an Iron Blaster. So, we'll see. They seem to want to do a game next week where it's Tomb Kings and the Vampire Counts against me, by myself. I don't think I'm going to do it though. Number one, I don't think I'm going to be able to next week because I have school and I'm on break right now, if I didn't already tell you guys. But, you know, I don't know. I just don't really want to play against two people. That's going to be my like 5th game or something like that. I just don't think I'm ready for that. I like having someone on my side that I can chat to about strat. They're friendly guys. They would tell me strat anyways. Like they honestly tell you. These are the type of guys that go, you know what, dude, I wouldn't charge that if I were you. I'd charge this. And usually it's quite accurate information. But it's nice to have someone on your team saying that, so you're not skeptical in any way. I am using such an unbelievable amount of this Scrag Brown to get the coverage. This paint is horrible coverage, but I am dead set on using this orange color because it's going to look so nice when it's done. I just have this feeling. It's how they do it on the GW site, and I always love the scheme for the Stonehorn on GW. And it's got that, that very, let me see, shut off the lights, maybe get the color on the front of those horns. Yeah, looks kind of shiny right now, it's really not, but, well, it's wet, that's why. Now that brown, the brown is going to get dulled down quite a bit, that orange, sorry, when we get the washes on there. And I have something just for that occasion. I have orange wash, Fugal green, no, Fugal, I don't forget the name of it. Let me get it here. It's along those lines. It's like something weird. I won't be able to find it now, but it's an interesting name. Fungal orange or something like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's the shade, but orange. So that's what I'm going to use on it. So besides that, you know, I'll have to eventually do up the thing that goes in the back, but that'll be a pretty quick job. It's just a whole bunch of bone, and I'm very comfortable painting bone at this point. Less comfortable painting the fur, but it's coming along. My plan is to take like a really, really watered down, black wash and do the bottoms, like all of his arms right here, and then on his back right down to his tail in a really watered down black wash. And I'm going to do that wash twice. And I'm going to do it really dark. Then what I'm going to do is take a black wash, very watered down, put it on the whole model. So now I'll have a blending from very dark to lighter, but still shaded. And meanwhile, I'll probably be mixing that Nuln Oil with, I'll say, the orange wash. Kind of tired, sorry. So, you know, that's the plan. I'd really like to get this guy finished. He's been sitting there haunting me for so long. It's like, paint me, paint me. And then I can truly just focus on... It's my last like major project for a while until I get to the Skaven Maneater and the other the Paymaster that's coming around. And those the Maneaters take me about 2 days each. This guy will probably be about a week project. The base will be a whole other project on its own because I got a lot of stuff to do for the base. Other than that, guys, it's pretty much all I have to report for the most part. I think I'm going to go and pick up a new comic. I don't read comics, as you know, but there's this game that came out on Steam, and I absolutely love it. It's The Big Bad Wolf, or it's something along those lines. It's made by Telltale Games, the ones who make the game for Walking Dead. It's more one of those like step-by-step make decision games. Super, super fun, and it's based on a comic called The Fables. The story is... basically, all the fairy tale people, you know, Red Riding Hood, all the junk, like from everything, Hansel and Gretel, it goes on, are all in New York now. They're out of their fables and they're living in this thing, and they need to take this drug called glamour to stay in their normal form if they're someone who isn't able to look like normal in person, like a toad, for instance, or something like that. So, you know, 14 minutes, 40 seconds, so I'm going to cut it here so I'm able to upload it really fast from my iMovie. So I hope you guys take care. Enjoy this section of the video. Keep painting, fighting the good fight. Cheers, guys.